Financial Now. It's here somehow with Brendan and Shireen. Wow.
Welcome everyone to Financial Now podcast. I'm Shireen. This is my husband Brendan.
Before we take you into money and finances, who are we outside of money and finances? Well, as I said, my name is Brendan, and outside of this whole financial world, which we just understanding right now, I am a keen runner, keen cyclist, and I do a lot of videos. And I suppose, what do you do, babe?
So I run a cleaning company and I do pastries and Lebanese pies on the side. I am pretty much the yin to Brendan's yang.
And I promise you right now, if there was ever a job you've heard of it, I've probably tried it. And that also catapults us onto where we were in our financial journey and where we're going to and where we want to be in our financial journey. I suppose right now we're going to start from the early days and the beginning, but what we really, or why we really are here is a bigger picture. So let's get started.
So what is your earliest money memories?
My money memory, and I've got quite a few of them growing up. Obviously, I don't think we had a lot of money growing up as in my household. However, I always knew that my mom always told me to save. And I was really good at it for a long time, a big portion of my life, till I was about 25. And then I knew that I could buy some really cool things. I could buy cars, I could buy bicycles, I could see the world. And what I wasn't doing was saving, but obviously kind of spending my savings. So it wasn't the smartest idea. And yourself?
So we didn't have tons of money growing up. We had enough. But my earliest money memory where I actually dealt with money was when I started waitressing and I realized I could buy awesome stuff with my money. However, it was all the stuff that I wasn't supposed to be buying. Clothes, shoes, fashionable items, just spending every cent I had and never having enough to get through a week.
Did you guys talk about money in your household? Was it like something that was forbidden? Or was it very open?
No, it wasn't very open. I think finances, and I think it's generally across the board, most people keep finances hush. So I don't think a lot of people speak about it with their children. So my parents didn't speak about it with me. And you?
We were very open. I'm not going to lie. We were like, if we needed money, if someone needed money, it was kind of dealt with and we kind of just gave it through. But yeah, if I needed money, I did ask my parents and, they would make a plan. That was the nice thing. If I was at school and if I wanted to try and play cricket, they would say, well, try out and use the sports, pads that were there. But they were not going to just hand out money. But otherwise, money was, it was spoken about in my household.
Okay, well, that's interesting because we lived in two complete opposite households. But I suppose that's what makes us work because together we come together and we pretty much then, ground each other in different ways.
I suppose after that we kind of got together, and I mean we've been together for quite a while now. How many years?
Well, I don't know, 14 I think.
14.
Is it longer than 14? I don't know. 2012.
There was a point where we had to pay close attention to money.
Yeah.
And that was quite recent. So we obviously went through a point in a time where we were living the high life. We were
traveling every year.
Listen, I've got some really bad decisions that I've made with money, but there was a point in time where it was 2019, and that's the year that our daughter was born, and the time where we actually paid close attention to what we were spending, what was coming in, and what was going out, and I suppose that was our catalyst for really saving.
What do you think the biggest money mistake that we've made, because I say it as we and we'll get into it further on, but what do you think we've made?
The biggest money mistake I have made was buying a BMW coupe. It was a beautiful car. It was a really, really, really nice car. The problem was not that I couldn't afford it. I could afford it and then I couldn't. So I think this is where your money mistakes happen, where you might think you can just afford it right now and then life happens. But also I didn't need it. So even though it was a money mistake, it was also an accomplishment in a sense that I realized what I need and what I don't need. and you know the difference between a luxury and something that I just really was
necessity, yeah.
taken advantage of.
Well, I'll tell you what my biggest money mistake is using every cent of savings to do something but never having a backup. And I think that's where all the financial issues start, is when you don't have that backing. So we would save for a holiday overseas. It was awesome. We'd go on this fantastic trip and come back to nothing. But when COVID struck, that's when obviously, you know, we were stuck in the lurch.
So with our trips and our travels and our daughter and my car
And SARS.
and SARS, South African Revenue Service, so that's tax. And besides all of that, when was the time where we drew a line in the sand and we said enough?
I think it was 2.5 years ago. We had just moved to our new house and we were really battling, and we had just had enough of living month to month. And I said to Brendan, you know what, something has to give. How is it that people do not have enough money? Do you have to be in the most powerful position, or as a CEO or as a manager, you know, earning tons of money to be able to live well? And I said to Brendan, there has to be a better way. So 2.5 years ago, we obviously decided we don't want to live like this anymore.
My favorite question, and obviously we're coming to this podcast quite unprepared,
Yeah.
which I think is something that we want to do because we want to be brutal. We want to
Yeah.
give our honest answers. And I think if I study something like what is your biggest mistake, you might think about something else, whether I know off the top of my head that it was the
Something to
two-door
do with your
BMW,
car, yeah.
the mentor. And anyone who knows me, anyone who knows you, anyone who knows us, we've mentioned the name Dave Ramsey. That was definitely our number one mentor from the beginning to the end. What you tell me?
So this is Dave Ramsey. For anybody that doesn't know who Dave Ramsey is, definitely worth the watch, definitely worth the read. I was actually watching a Jay Shetty podcast, and Jay Shetty is a motivational, inspirational speaker, and he was interviewing Dave Ramsey, and I heard this man saying that you don't need to be a manager, CEO, somebody high up earning a major salary to be able to live the life that you want to live. You just need to know how to work with your income. And I think that's when I was hooked. So I then made Brendan watch a couple of videos, and I think,
to be honest,
yeah.
if I watch something someone else has done, I probably might not be as enthusiastic because I didn't come up with it first. But from the moment he was on the TV, it was Financial Now.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the main reason with not just starting this. I mean, number one, obviously starting this, we're going to get to that, but just watching Dave being intentional. There's so many things that we're obviously going to get to that. But, you know, right now, to answer that, it's just Dave Ramsey.
Yeah, 100%.
So our personalities are similar, but they're different. So even though, you know, I might go and run a lot, and obviously, you know, you do the beauty stuff and you look so good when you do it.
Thank you.
The yin to the yang, but the complete package. We obviously, you know, have we been the same or haven't we been the same? You know, what's been the difference in you and I with money? Because clearly we grew up differently, but, you know, do we meet in the middle with finances?
Yes, we definitely do. I think a lot of the time we are on the same page, and we have always worked together to kind of, you know, find a common ground no matter what it is. And I think us coming together, both understanding, you know, what was at stake and the fact that we both wanted to change our lives, I think we were pretty much on the same page. So yeah, from that point of view, I think if you're going to start a journey like we started, you both as a couple have to be on the same page with one another. And it's not any disrespect to one person that has more debt or another person that has debt. It's coming together to say, how can we solve this problem? As opposed to when we first started, we would say, well, you know, you've got the car payment, that's your responsibility, or I've got the credit card debt, it's my payments to make. we came together and we said, how are we going to tackle everything and work together going forward? And
We've always generally worked like that. I think even when it's saving for New York, we've kind of generally done that. So whether it's saving, spending, or whatever, I think we kind of always have had the
common goal.
the common goal and the ground. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure people want to know where we are now.
Financially now, I think that kind of we have to get into the past. Like we said, there was a catalyst, and where we were financially, the marker that hit, and like I said, there was enough, and the line drawn in the sand for me was 201,000 rand. That's something I'll never forget, and that was in debt, not in surplus. So it was a huge thing for me. I tallied everything up after my daughter was born. I came home. I think I spent 2 or 3 nights by myself at home, obviously elated, a new addition to the family. And then suddenly your father mindset kicks in because you've never had this before.
Yeah.
And it was 201,000 rand. And I felt compelled that we couldn't live like that, and not just for our daughter, for us. People change because they have kids. People don't want their kids to go through bad times, and they want their kids to have a really good upbringing, really good schools, and also when we pass on, a really good sort of, a retirement that we can give to our daughter. But it was more for us living now.
Yeah. What financial wins do you think we are most proud of, having gone through this journey? I mean, we haven't completed our journey.
I think the financial wins, so there's a point for me where you have credit card debt. So my credit card debt was 80,000, and you go from 80 to 70 to 75 back up, and then to 60, and then you sort of do that
Fluctuation,
that little fluctuation, that dance, and then suddenly you'll have something that comes through, and after a couple of months, fortunately for me, and for some people it's years, then suddenly you go down to 0, and then you go back up to minus 20, so you're never out of that minus, and it's
continuous
really
cycle.
It's just so off-putting, it's so demotivating. But for me, the proud moment was when I was a plus 10 and I went down to a 5, and then plus 12, and then down to a 5, and then plus. So I was still in the surplus, and I was like ready to assist, not just myself but the family.
Yeah, I think the wins that I think we should be super proud of is the fact that we have sacrificed in order to get the financial freedom that we on our way to achieving. I think the sacrifice has been so hard, from giving up going out, dinners, coffees, any extra things on a weekend. It was done. We were not doing that stuff anymore, and it becomes hard because you feel like you're not living your life. You see everybody else on social media living their best life, and you're sitting at home in front of the TV watching a movie, maybe having a bowl of popcorn, but not being able to live life was very hard. So being able to get to a point where we now can say, oh, I feel like going for a cup of coffee, and not feeling it hit your back pocket, I think that's a huge win for me.
So number one, it's not the bought popcorn that you put in the microwave. It's the seeded popcorn.
With the oil in the pot.
We do everything basic right now. And in terms of conversations we have as a couple, we have conversations financially as a couple daily. I think we both said that
at the same
time. It's daily. And in terms of financial decisions, at times I save a lot. I'm a really good saver. I love saving. It's like a little target for me, and it's a challenge.
Yep.
So I really have fun saving. But at the same time, I also have fun not spending, but I'll go through a moment where like, oh, you know what, just do it. So paying off my car was a major thing for me. It was 140,000 rand. So it wasn't just the minus 200, that we got you till now. It was the minus 200, plus the 140, plus the credit card debts.
How long did it take you to save that 140,000 rand?
Since January. It's January 2025, whenever you're watching this. And now it's August 2025. So it hasn't been a long time, but it's working 7 days a week. And my schedule right now is 3 full-time companies that are really using me for full-time, but it's 3 companies. So I feel like sometimes I'm working, you are too, but we both are working so
Yeah,
many jobs that
both
want
got so many
you know,
jobs.
a lot. But in terms of, decisions and financial money making, we'll always do that together.
Yeah.
And sometimes I might sort of, as a reward to myself, do Cape Town Marathon, which is coming up in a couple of weeks' time. I bought flights, which they were 4,000 Rand. And personally, that's a lot of money to us now. And I think it's because we have those conversations very often.
Yeah, I think whenever both of us want to purchase something big or do something big, it's just getting on the same page, consulting with one another, and making sure that we're okay financially. We don't just take those decisions by ourselves. And it's not that you have to answer to your partner, because that's not the case. But if you want to make sure that you're both on the same page and you both going to achieve the same goal, you have to be able to have open communications. What financial goals are we working towards right now?
Well, as per the Dave Ramsey baby steps, and that's something that
Okay, wait, stop. For those who don't know what the baby steps are, do you want to quickly just give a quick sum up, and then you can...
That's going to be in our next podcast.
Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, so if you tuned in...
So we're on step 3, and obviously that is 3 to 6 months. And that's currently what we're working towards now.
Saving up 3 to 6
months expenses.
worth of
So we've got a number, and it's our goal, it's our number. We're going to be very transparent here. I'm not here to hide anything. So 3 to 6 months, and that's kind of the goals that we're both working on together.
Yes.
and separately. So
Yeah.
doing our fair share of doing it for ourselves, and then kind of coming together and saying, right, this is what we have.
Yeah.
Now cumulatively, let's try and get us both there together.
Yeah, and that's purely because we both run our own businesses. So being self-employed, you would need reserves in your business account, and then for your household, you would need reserves in your household account. So when Brendan says doing it separately and doing it together, that's how we basically bring it all in one circle. So
We are almost finished. Not long to go. Why did we decide to share our financial story publicly? Why are we saying this for the whole world to hear on YouTube?
it's a very personal story. However, there are so many people out there that are in the same situation we were, that are experiencing the same things, where you don't have enough money for food when it comes to month end, or you're using your credit cards for the smallest purchases because there is just no money. And it's not only us in that situation. There are thousands of people, and we want to tell people that it is possible to move forward and actually live a life where your money is not going everywhere else except in your own pockets at the end of the day. And it's taken us as living proof to share our story and show people that, listen, we've done this. We've followed these steps. We have now got to a point where we can comfortably say this process works, and we want to share it.
I also think that I've been through sleepless nights. I've been through the part where I'm hyperventilating. As fun and happy and joyful as I am, there was always a huge thing,
Anxiety,
burning, massive anxiety, and there's a hole that you can't climb out of. But actually, there is light, and it's taken us 2 years. And I suppose that's why it's taken us 2 years to try and dig ourselves out. But I suppose this, and why we're sharing it now, is, we want to carry on with the journey. We want to carry on with all the baby steps, and, hopefully carry on to surge past the one book and into the other, which we'll obviously get to in the next podcast. And that's what you can definitely look forward to, because there is light at the end of the tunnel.
So one of Dave Ramsey's most famous sayings is, live like nobody else is prepared to live, so that you can live like no one else can live later on. So if you can delay that gratification, you will come out of the other side and be able to live your best life. So we hope that anyone who is looking for some sort of financial advice or inspiration, is going to watch it, see this, and hopefully, yeah, we can give some sort of light and hope to other people that felt as dark as we felt at that time.
I suppose it probably needs to be a disclaimer, and I'm just going to say this
Yes,
now. Listen,
yes.
we are not financial people.
advisors.
We're not a financial institution. And after all of this is said and done, we are people that have gotten the Dave Ramsey principles, the baby steps, that the fact that it's biblical, and I think the fact that we are following someone who's lived out these principles.
Yes.
So at the moment now, it's not to say that you are going to become a millionaire. This is not a get rich fast type approach. This is how Dave Ramsey has done it, and we have emulated him. And just a word of advice, I have tried to put the South African spin on this. Oh, well, if I have my own business and my car's not as much as American cars and the interest rate and, how do we this and bond this and, mortgage this?
Yeah.
No. Follow it like it is. And we
Step
have
by
come
step, yeah.
exactly as far as we've come because we've followed these step by step. And in closing,
Yeah, we'll catch up next week for the step-by-step process. But it's been awesome to share our side of our story, why we wanted to do this podcast. And I really, really, really hope that someone is able to watch this with the same, intentionality of changing their lives as we had.
if you want to know financial how,
Financial Now.
done.
Financial Now. It's here somehow with Brendan and Shireen. Wow.